Mental illness is something I've dealt with it personally, and it's something that my wife has dealt with and members of my family have dealt with. So it's something that's kind of very prevalent in our lives. And it's in varying degrees impacted and not impacted, and sort of coming to terms with a lot of it has been a big part of my life. So what helps me deal with days when I'm struggling has always been other people. I find I get in my own head a lot. And just having somebody else to talk to, having some sort of a community can be incredibly helpful. I know sort of when sometimes you even know what's stuck in your head doesn't make sense, but it's stuck there. And just being able to verbalize it and vocalize it and give it some sort of a substance, even just sometimes as you're saying it out loud, it's enough to just kind of go like, okay, I know this isn't where I need to be right now, and having somebody else just hear that and listen to that and just kind of go like, all right, where's this coming from? And being able to have that conversation is incredibly powerful. So being able to be connected to a community, and I'm somewhat fortunate in, in my community, mental health is something that's a little bit more readily talked about and it's a little more understood. So I find there's other people that it's easier to talk to about that. But I know there's a lot of people that struggle just with that stigma and just being able to say, you know what, I'm not okay today. And sometimes it's okay to not be okay. I've had those days where you just kind of wake up and you get out of bed and you're like, you know what, today just isn't going to be a great day and I just got to get through it and maybe tomorrow will be better. I've always tried to be somebody that is willing and able to listen. Because sometimes somebody just needs somebody, like I said about myself, like sometimes people just need somebody to just like spit it out and just sort of, they can't deal with it in their own head. And that's sort of, a lot of where mental illness gets rooted in and kind of ruins your day is just by like sitting there and not giving you the perspective you need to deal with very rational anxieties and very rational fears. You wake up in the morning and you say, you know what, I've got this big thing I've got to deal with, and you're nervous about it, and there's a reason you're nervous about it, and then the mental illness side of it just sort of doesn't allow you to process it in a way that you can handle. So being able to kind of respond to that in somebody else, I think, is the most important way you can help somebody. Supporting mental health, it's important to me almost selfishly, because it is something I deal with, and it's something that within the LGBT community is so prevalent, and it's something that's often sort of pushed aside, because it's not, everybody's heard, the point about, you can see a broken arm, you can't see depression. So being able to take those opportunities to discuss it kind of when you have the energy and you have the support to put those issues forward. Like I said, it's almost like a selfish desire, because I want to live in a world where mental health is more readily talked about. I want to live in a world where we can deal with these issues and people aren't struggling with them, because there's so much, there's so many beautiful people in this world that have such great ideas that are just hampered by mental illness. And being able to move past that would make, the world we live in so much more vibrant and beautiful. So it's really, it's something that's so important and so difficult to talk about at times, that being able to take, the position I have and especially on the board of the Mental Health Association here, and just be able to bring up some of these points and be able to add my voice into that to say, you know what, this is something that we have to deal with. Almost, it feels like an obligation I have. It's a responsibility, really, that, if you have that power to try and enact even a small amount of change, that you try and help those around you.